Hey everyone, how's it going? Guys, things are heating up in Buffalo and Los Angeles. Today's discussion is all about the coaching changes around the NFL, with a full focus on Sean McDermott's exit from the Bills and Mike McDaniel landing as the offensive coordinator with the Chargers. And it starts with drama already. The GM gets promoted, the head coach gets fired, and Josh Allen is right in the middle of all of it. And let's watch this clip together because it's packed with heavy behind the scenes stuff and some strong opinions. And on top of that, the Chargers are making some smart moves. McDaniel is going to work with Justin Herbert under Jim Harbaugh. Just that alone already makes you imagine what those locker room conversations are going to be like. Right, check out this video. There's a lot for us to break down together. And let's hit play.
Let's go. You just tweeted at me. Jeff Saturday is a Hall of Famer. Let me work on that.
Oh,
Let's go.
Man.
CC getting a quick tweet in before he plays golf in Boca this morning.
He's got different weather than we have in New York.
Exactly
He's living his best life.
I wish I was down there. Okay, let's dive into the coaching carousel here because we have some late news this morning, Peter. The Buffalo opening with Josh Allen sitting there, obviously as desirable as it gets. What do we know?
It was quiet the first couple of days, and now we're getting some requests in here. Obviously, we've seen the notes that Brian Daboll has been requested to go there and interview for them, and that makes a lot of sense considering his history with Josh Allen, but also his Western New York background. He is a local native of the Buffalo area. Two other names. Lou Anarumo has been asked to go interview, and Anthony Lynn, who was with the Washington Commanders this past year and has a history with Buffalo, he too will be interviewing. I will just add this really quickly. At 10 a.m. today, there is a press conference, and it is Terry Pagula and it is Brandon Beane, the general manager. And if you've read the local Buffalo news and the Buffalo media, the move that Beane gets to stay and be promoted while McDermott is shown the door has not been received well by either the media or the local fan base. I would imagine a contentious.
Hold on, man. The GM gets promoted and the head coach gets shown the door. What kind of mess is this? Buffalo, do you think that's fair? Drop a comment, because this feels like a straight-up blame game.
If not, very watchable press conference at 10 a.m. and Brandon Beane will be up on the mic, and we'll see how those conversations go.
Yeah, the whole way that thing went down did not sit well with you.
It's dirty. Like, I mean, you think about one guy's getting promoted, and he was there. I mean, McDermott was there before him, right? They bring in, they do this thing together. If it doesn't go well, then let's show them both the door. If it's time to move, then everybody should move. Because the roster that McDermott just got fired for was not good enough. Like, whether you like it or not, if you're Mafias, they hate you for saying they weren't good enough. And so they didn't have a good enough receiving core. They're too injured on defense. They didn't have a good enough defense to stop people. Josh Allen, we talked about it every week, had to play like Superman. He played bad in the playoffs. Part of the reason why they lost, probably the largest reason why they lost. But to go put it all on the feet of Sean McDermott is absolutely ridiculous. And so when I see guys who are getting promoted or getting more, and you're the coach who's got to come in and work under this guy, you don't think you're cautious? He just watched his boy get canned and got promoted. It's dirty, man.
You're a lot more likely to have success if the interests are aligned for the GM and the coach. And one of the things that happens when a coach gets fired, normally the whole staff gets fired.
Right.
One of these things that we've created this division between coach and front office that I don't necessarily like.
Exactly.
Like, the incentives are not completely aligned. There's a guy in the GM, and not this case specifically, but all cases, we see it happen more often that the coaches get fired. The GM has a closer relationship with the owner almost all the time. The GM is up there talking to him
while the game is going on,
right,
talking to the owner, watching
so, like,
the head coach.
I think that it's a lot easier for the ownership to look at the GM and understand that we're more alike. Yeah, it's them messing it up. Right. And I'm not going to throw myself under the bus, so I think that we should.
Man, this take is way too real. If you're going to change things, change everyone. You can't clean up only half the mess and pretend it's fixed. Do you agree with that? Or do you think the GM deserves to stay?
Move more to a world where everybody got to go. Because I don't want you in here trying to convince me that it's somebody else.
I'm not defending Brandon Beane here, but we've seen this with Joe Shane staying when Daboll goes. Like, this seems to be that
about
the GM gets a chance to maybe pick his coach, because he did come in after McDermott. So now they're going to give Brandon Beane this opportunity. Obviously, the spotlight will be on him. I will add this. Everyone loves McDermott. And the fact of the matter is, 9 years, and the average that they gave up on defense was 31.5 points in those playoff games. And they were always top 5, top 10. So we could pick this apart a million ways. I believe that in this case, the owner felt confident that Brandon Beane could still draft and select players, and that they just needed a new voice in that.
So wait, let me just get my backstory. I was a columnist in Buffalo for the Buffalo News when McDermott and Beane were hired that year. So I've seen Sean McDermott go from a hard ass walking in the door saying no ping pong tables, like we are doing this, like it's this. And over the years, he had softened. He showed more of, I'm a player's coach, the DeMar Hamlin situation, how he showed love and how he protected his players, the poise that he showed in those critical moments, the blizzard, the deadly blizzard where he's picking up guys, rescuing them from their houses. That said, in that building, it may have been a shock to a lot of us, but in that building, over the years, they felt like, you know, and even outsiders watching the Bills, when you watch the Bills in these high-pressure moments, it felt like they were tight. It felt like they just could not get over the hump. And at some point, owner Terry Pegula looks at it and says, the reason we can't get over the hump is that guy, unfortunately.
My point generally is not about this specifically. I'm not in that building. It's just an overarching point that we see happen time and time again. I hate it. If we are a team, everybody get your ass out. Right. You don't get to tell me that I'm doing my part, but he's not doing his part. Right. Change it. We'll fix it. That's what I just don't like, how the incentives are not aligned. Agreed. And they're not motivated for everyone to achieve. Like on a football team, we feel very differently. I'm not out there like hoping that somebody else can mess up so I can say, oh, the D-line wasn't getting enough pressure. Like, no, we all succeed if we win. If we don't, we all got to go.
And let's talk about Beane, right? Like, how many Pro Bowlers has he had since Josh Allen?
2. He's drafted two since they drafted
So this ain't Howie Roseman. This ain't a guy who's making moves left and right that's just bringing in. Since Stephon Diggs left, tell me a receiver who's even touching a, quote, 1. No. Ain't nobody
They drafted Keon Coleman with the hope that he would be that.
But drafted Shakir.
And he pulled off the trade that he was criticized for getting Stephon Diggs. And that ended up helping Josh Allen kind of turn everything around. So.
But you got, I mean, like at some point.
They've had a lot of success, so you can give in this time period. So there's lots of reasons to be appreciative for both of those coaches. But I think the decision, or both of those people, Beane and McDermott. But when you get to the end of it, that's the hard part. No one's upset about, I think we're just more bothered by trying to put it all at McDermott's feet.
Can I add a little thing? So just into that building right now.
So now Josh Allen's going to have a say in choosing the new head coach. That's some serious power. But is that actually good for the team, or is it going to turn into chaos? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments.
I do believe Josh Allen's going to have a voice in who the next head coach is. So already you're seeing Brian Daboll's name being mentioned. They had a lot of success. Another name would be Joe Brady, who is the guy who he had the last few years. I would also throw in Davis Webb, and this might be just too much of a leap, but those are best friends. Davis Webb, I believe, is a groomsman in Allen's wedding. We're talking
about Josh Allen and Davis Webb.
Yes, and Davis Webb was is on the Denver staff, but he was the backup to Josh Allen for 3 years in Buffalo. And by the end of it, his third year with Buffalo, he was actually running quarterback meetings at times in the room.
Can I say this? Because, again, everything that we're thinking right now is going to Josh Allen, right? Yeah. Like, Josh Allen, if you look at the last 2 years, hasn't been what he was 3 years ago, right? Like, numbers have gone down from the 2 years.
The MVP last year.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, as you're looking at like numbers, right? If all we're going to do is build around Josh Allen, we have a whole other side of football that we're giving up 31 points when it matters.
Right.
It's really hard to score 32 every freaking week. Josh Allen can't do more than he's doing. If he plays at the same level, you can go win a championship with him right now. Fix the other part. Stop worrying me to death about the offense. Whoever his offensive coordinator is, he's a really good player. He'll be just fine.
Kmart knows this. 10 a.m., Brandon Beane, he doesn't just sit there and he will bite back. So I am excited for this press conference.
It's going to be cinema.
And it will be theater.
I mean, he bit back this offseason. It was made to look silly when he was saying, like, we got enough receivers, and it's clear that Josh Allen had a career high in taking sacks in part because they didn't have the Stephon Diggs. They didn't have the one guy that you know that you could get rid of the ball in that spot all the time. So every roster is going to have holes in it, but that's a very big hole when you have a player that's as exceptional as Josh Allen.
All right, let me get one other note in here. Ash, let's go to the Charger one, right? So I think this is an interesting one. Another coaching domino dropped, and you had sort of foreshadowed that something like this might happen, that as guys like Mike McDaniel were interviewing for head coaching jobs, there were also these offensive coordinator jobs that might be, in some ways, even more appealing a step. And McDaniel has taken that He becomes the Chargers offensive coordinator, so he will become Justin Herbert's coach under Jim Harbaugh. Let's talk through that one.
Mike McDaniel is giving them the word that if I don't get one of these other jobs, which is Baltimore more or less, where he's continuing, I will be your offensive coordinator. And I thought this was interesting last week when everyone was doing flips over the head coaching jobs, but you had Philadelphia open as an offensive coordinator job, Tampa Bay, obviously here in Los Angeles, and then also Baltimore and Pittsburgh. If they hire defensive coaches, well, then you can have an OC job there, or Buffalo as well. The offensive coordinator position, to be with a Justin Herbert or to be with a Jalen Hurts or to be with a Baker Mayfield, in a lot of ways was more attractive to some of these top offensive minds than taking the Cleveland job where we don't know who the quarterback is, or the Miami job, or the Arizona job, which are head coaching jobs. In this case, Mike McDaniel goes to LA where we were laughing about it.
McDaniel with the Chargers is like stylish coach, promising quarterback, and zero pressure from the LA fan base. Man, he really landed in a great spot. Hit the like button if you also think this was a master move.
I cannot wait for the meetings between Jim Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel. It's just personality.
And Justin Herbert.
But you add to this, his wife is from the Southern California area, and this position maybe not as coveted as a head coaching job in other years. But with the landscape of how the league is right now, you better get a quarterback if you want to have success. And
he can wear those pants in the warm
joggers.
right? He's
Joggers.
comfortable and all that kind of stuff. I love it. This to me is
This
smart.
is great. This is the.
You only get 2 cracks at this thing.
Yes.
So if you jump right back into a bad head coaching job,
Which
you're going to get
is-
fired and you'll never get another job.
Which is the problem.
Yeah, and you're going to a place, great offensive line, and they were injured. You're going to have a great offensive line. You have a head coach who wants to run the ball, take the air out of the ball a little bit, who's a quarterback, which is unheard of. He wants to protect you as a coordinator. So, like, if you're Mike McDaniel, you're going to look like a freaking rock star. Like, this is a perfect set. And no pressure. Like, L.A., like, you ain't got, come on, like, Philly or L.A., you want to go listen to Philly bash you week in and week out, or you want to go to L.A. where we talk about him 3 times a year?
Because in Philly, all eyes would be on that offensive coordinator.
Oh.
That guy who gets hired. I think this is genius by McDaniel because we've seen some other coaches jump right back in the fray. John Harbaugh jumping back into the fray.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have success here, that's another one. I'm sure
we're going to get to
about that soon.
Oh, we're going to get to that. The Baker Mayfield, Kevin Stefanski stuff.
It's a tease.
Rich,
Yeah,
final thought on this.
I love him going out there, to your point. I think it wouldn't have been as comfortable. He can't wear his Gucci monogram capris in Philly and not produce. That's not going to work.
No.
Out in L.A., you can pull that off. And I think he's, to Jeff's point, he wants to run the ball. They have an offensive line. They have a coach who wants to run the ball. And they have a quarterback that we all know is super talented, but it's yet to meet his full potential. Like, he's a hero if he goes out there and
I'm excited about
outperforms.
And wrapping it up, guys, the video did a great job showing how McDermott's firing shook everything up in Buffalo. Brandon Beane remains firmly in place, even though a lot of people see that as unfair. Meanwhile, Mike McDaniel makes a strategic move that could revive his career, taking over a team with talent and very little outside pressure. Josh Allen's name comes up constantly, like everything revolves around keeping him happy, and yeah, he's great, no doubt about that. But let's not forget the Bills' defense also let the team down in the playoffs. This isn't just an offensive coordinator issue. The problem is much bigger. My take, this game of musical chairs just shows how much more political the NFL is than we like to admit. But honestly, McDaniel with the Chargers could end up being one of the coolest pairings of the season. Now, drop a comment and tell me what you think about these changes. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more reactions like this. Appreciate it.